What's your dream spring break destination?
The Maldives.
Oh, snap.
In one of those little huts out on the water.
Have you been?
No.
But you want to go?
I would love to. Bucket list. How about you?
I'll go to the Maldives.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
go anywhere with this sunshine.
We're not going to be here next week. We're busy.
A beach. You did not go to the Maldives.
No, I didn't.
But we have a spring break picture
Yes,
of you.
this is the closest thing I have had to spring break in a minute.
Since.
Back in 2019, we took a little trip.
What's going on here?
That's Jamaica.
Oh.
So I'm equating this to spring break because we went with my boyfriend's brother and his wife. And she's a teacher, so it was her spring break. That's when we went.
Who were you sticking your tongues out at?
The camera. There was 2 angles. And that was us.
It was a 2-camera shoot.
Yes, it was a 2-camera shoot. You know, hit the angles. It was a fantastic trip, though. It was the one excursion. I like to relax when I go to the beach. We did one excursion day.
And that was it.
We did zip lining. We took that to the top. We did the Jamaican bobsledding. We did it all.
The whole thing.
We did the whole kit and caboodle.
Because spring break, you know, as you mentioned, for teachers, time off.
Yes.
For students,
make the most of it.
For families, a time off. It's a busy season, spring travel. It's also heating up. So if you're planning a trip or thinking about squeezing in a last-minute getaway, our next guest is sharing some tips. I think I'm beyond the deadline. Joining us live this morning is Gabe Sagile, a senior editor for Travel Zoo. Gabe, do we have any hope that we can book a last-minute
the clock is
travel?
ticking.
I know.
The clock is ticking.
It's like I got the pitch count,
like
I got the pitch clock at baseball, and I got the booking the trip clock in my head.
Yeah. And they're getting louder and louder. Listen, I'm like you, I'm a procrastinator. I'm still planning our family of 5 European trip this summer. And I've been talking to folks for weeks now, and I'm still not on the ball. So but here's the thing. A lot of people are, and a lot of people are traveling as we speak. The numbers show it. TSA telling us that thus far in March, 36 million Americans have traveled compared to 32.5 million same period last year. So the numbers have really ballooned as we head toward the spring season. AAA telling us that for spring break, international travel is up 30% year over year. And that's amidst prices like hotel and airfare prices up 20% year over year. And then even, with, worries around things like inflation, our own member surveys show that 78% of Americans look at travel as their budget priority, even amidst those worries. So we're going to travel no matter what. So we're not alone out there. It's getting busier, and now is not the time to procrastinate. That's for sure.
I wish you could have seen Alex's face. She just went, what? So we're broke, but we're still going to take that trip.
But we're still going to prioritize
We're still going to take that trip.
Got it.
Where are people going?
So it's all about the beach destinations. When we did our member survey, beach spots like Florida, California, Hawaii in particular are going to fare very well out there. The Caribbean is super hot this summer, and as is south of the border, despite some of the news items we've seen trickle in over the last couple of weeks. So if you're planning to head into these destinations for spring break, certainly summer, now would be the time to pull the trigger on that. And I've even met people who are planning November, December holiday trips to some of these beach destinations. So we're going to be seeing prices continue to climb. They're not going to go down. Prices will climb as we head toward these busy travel periods, and that's just a fact.
Are they going to level off?
I'm getting anxiety.
Well, prices will level off. We'll just, as we start to get close to these very in-demand spring break dates, will fluctuate maybe up and down a little bit. I think for spring break, we're seeing them level off a little bit. For summer, no, I don't think we've seen the run on summer airfare pricing, especially for international destinations like Europe and the Caribbean.
Okay, speaking of airfare, can we get into the flight situation? Last year was a bit troublesome. We know all about, we did the stories, all the delays, the cancellations, all the woes, the airlines, you know.
The meltdowns.
Yeah. Exactly, and, you know, I fly often. A couple of times, I visit my parents in Florida. I like to consider myself a well-traveled gal. It's always a production to fly. So what tips do you have for us to deal with that and just everything that's gone down with the flights?
It's a production, and it's also a little bit intimidating for folks to do it on a regular basis. So there's an interesting energy at airports these days. You know, if we look at 2019 as our benchmark, our normal benchmark, the numbers as far as travelers are concerned are there. These daily numbers, 2.5, 2.3 million Americans traveling daily. They are matching 2019 numbers. So if we're looking at normal, we are there as far as travel numbers are concerned. The question is, are the airlines back to speed regarding things like staffing? And I can tell you that for me personally, my last couple of flights, I say 3 out of the last 5 flights have been delayed because either the bags are taking too long to load onto the plane, which means staffing at the airport level
I've been there.
is simply still getting up to speed. Or in my last flight the other day when I was coming back from Ireland, we had to wait 90 minutes because the crew needed that mandated rest period. So, you know, these airlines don't have these flight attendants or pilots who kind of plug out of thin air to satisfy the schedule. So, yeah, we're still dealing with some schedule issues. I think we're certainly better positioned than we were last summer. But the travel numbers are where we want to be, and airlines are still playing a little bit of catch-up for sure.
By the way, thanks for reminding us that you were in Ireland.
And we did not get invited.
Yeah, you know, we were waiting for maybe next year.
We thought we were friends.
You know, next year, yeah, this was my 10th year covering the big St. Patrick's Day parade there in Dublin. Second in size only to the one there in New York City, obviously. So it was a lot of fun. And the crowds were bigger than I've seen in those 10 years. So
people are back.
Again, travel numbers are definitely back to what we remember, yes.
So what are the places and the deals that you are tracking right now for spring break, if anyone has a shot?
Yeah, so a couple of places where the calendar is going to really drive prices up or down. Let's talk about places like the Hamptons. We know that come June, the Hamptons are going to double, triple, quadruple in price. So now, between now and May, you can get away, get some of these great destinations, and still get a deal. We have a deal on the Travelzoo website to the Barron's Cove, Sag Harbor, nautically themed hotel, right on the water, 10-minute walk from downtown. Sag Harbor, $199 a night for travel through May. That's 40 to 50% off prices we'll see in the summer season. So avoid the June onward crowds. Head there now and save some money. Also, ski destinations. Any ski destination that now is looking at prime pricing will become a better bargain in spring and even better bargain in the summer season. The Sebastian in Vail. This is a famous luxury resort on right in the heart of Vail Village, right at the foot of a lot of these trails. They become hiking and biking trails in the summer, and prices will drop 50 to 75%. So rates now are going to be in pretty high. If you wait until April through August, $279 to $349 a night for stays at the Sebastian there in Vail. And with the deal we have on the Travelzoo website, the $50 a day resort fee is waived. So again, some incentives to wait for the snow to melt and visit some of these great ski destinations in the spring.
Beautiful in the spring. Beautiful in the spring. Can attest to that.
Do you have one more for us? I thought you had one more.
Oh, yeah. How about Bermuda? So, again, the Caribbean, as we head toward the summer season, prices will continue to drop there. This is the Azura Bermuda on the south shores of that beautiful island. 10-minute walk from downtown Hamilton. The rates usually here, $700 a night. Now you can do 3 nights for $799 for travel through April. $999 for travel in the summer season. And it's funny you guys mentioned the Maldives, by the way. That's a destination that pre-pandemic people were not even aware of. The pandemic really shed a spotlight on a destination like that because it's exotic, remote, far-flung, and those are the kind of spots we're starting to gravitate towards now post-pandemic.
You know what I think is exotic and I'm going to gravitate towards? Wave Hill. I'm never going to get.
There you go.
It's going to be a staycation.
That's fine. It looked real nice. And
it
so
still
yes,
counts.
You mentioned Travelzoo. You have all the deals, discounts, and if we type in GABE, we get friends and family?
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
Exactly. You get that extra little 10% off.
Great.
And the free breakfast in the morning and the corner suite. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow.
It's just a secret word between us.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Gabe Sagile, Travelzoo. Always great to see you.
Great to see you guys.
Thank you, and welcome back.
Yeah.